So good morning, everybody. So very, very happy to see you on this Friday. And yes, it is Friday for those of you who have Friday every day, like Randy was saying. It's very, very nice to be able to celebrate a day every day and be grateful for that. And today, I wanted to put up there some gratitudes of practicing gratitude. And I know we talk about this a lot. If you practice gratitude, here's 10 things that you can do to make your gratitudes easier to do. You can do them every day, and you can practice them every day, or you can take one a day and do them. But as I say all the time, practicing gratitude does change the trajectory of your day, and you don't even see it coming in situations. And then you think to myself, I always do this too. I go, wow, I'm handling this so much differently than I used to handle it. And I have to attribute it to gratitude. I just do. I have to attribute it to the changes that I'm making in myself. And really one of the biggest ones is the practicing of gratitude. So if you don't have this list and you like it, just take a screenshot of it, and you can just put it near you, and it'll remind you on different things that you can do. But simply saying thank you to somebody, great way to do gratitude. Just saying thank you so much, accepting a thank you, taking a moment to reach out to somebody. Keeping a journal is really, really cool. And I used to do it a lot, and I've started to kind of do it a little bit again because I really like it. It's a nice time to have quiet time. Talking about it with other people is amazing. Reminding yourself and others about gratitude, being mindful, having a meal with somebody, breaking bread is just so wonderful. Recognizing a force bigger than yourself, of course, and being kind to others and being kind to yourself. Okay, so there's 4 days left in our month, and in business, this is something on a P&L that I think is very, very important. We live in a P&L in business, and our P&L is our 30 days of the month. In business, you have goals that you want to put out there for end of month. You want to make sure that you're meeting those goals, sometimes on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And so when you are tracking your P&L and you're tracking your daily activity of what your P&L is doing in terms of profit loss, knowing that you have 4 days left, knowing that today is Friday, knowing that the last day of the month is Monday, there's specific things that you can be doing in your last 4 days, which are not only important to reaching those goals for the P&L, but also it can make for a lot of fun. And it can make for a lot of fun and just, having that goal for yourself, or that, that game that you put in your head, like, I'm going to reach this goal. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. I wanted to remind everybody about the Zoom call that Anna's doing on Tuesday. This is the Zoom number. Everybody's welcome to be in on that call. I know she's going to be putting a game together for going into conference. So I think it'll be really a lot of fun to hear it live. And if you have people on your team that don't typically get up at 7 a.m. or they're at work at 10 a.m., if they can make an exception that day and be on, you definitely want to hear what she has to say. And that way you can broadcast that to other people that weren't able to come on. I know she's going to record it, so you will have the opportunity to hear it later, but it's always fun to be on live and hear it. So do you believe? This is a big deal in business, okay? Do you believe you are the master of your destiny? You can influence, direct, and control your own environment, and you can make your life what you want it to be, Napoleon Hill. So do you believe? The very biggest thing in business is belief. And, out of everything else, there are certainly days where that belief gets completely shattered, where you wake up and you think, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I can do this today. I don't know if I can meet my goal. I don't know if I can close the month out. The idea is that one of the ways is by really reading, talking with people, having a mentor, having somebody that is positive in your life that you can go to and say, gosh, I'm having a day where I don't know if I have the strength or I have the belief that I need to be able to close out this month. So recognize if you believe, and once you have the recognition of that belief or non-belief, take the steps that you need to reach out to people, to surround yourself in that belief, to borrow that belief, to borrow that confidence, to borrow the encouragement. All of those things are real. And it doesn't make you a weak person, or it doesn't make you a failure. It doesn't make you any of those things if you have a day where you're like, I don't know, that's such a lofty goal, I'm not sure I can achieve it. The idea is go for it. Just go for it, and you'll get somewhere. You may even surprise yourself and get to where you want to go. But the belief in, you know, in all of our goals and everything we do in business, in closing out the month where we want to go, is all has to do with your personal belief. Okay. So Bruce Lee, choose the positive. You have the choice. You're the master of your attitude. Choose the positive, the constructive. Optimism is the faith that leads to success. This is a key component, you guys. Belief and positivity in your attitude. And, you know, interestingly enough, these are not cliches. These statements that very successful people make is not because they just decide, oh, one day they're going to come up with some sort of a, you know, fun thing to put on Facebook or put in a book. These are beliefs and sciences that people have definitely, you know, put into their life and thought, you know, this works. This really, really works. So I'm going to practice this. So these are tools that you can utilize to build your leadership. And in all leadership, we have to build it. You know, we have to build that faith. We have to build that belief. And then once we do, you know, we have the tools to not only lead ourselves, but to always be able to lead others in a direction of developing others as a leader. So leader's one who knows the way, who goes the way and shows the way, John Maxwell. And I think, you know, that's a very, very important statement. You know, you don't always start out knowing the way, but if you surround yourself in business with people and mentors that know what they're doing and that you trust them, you will find the way. I know that, you know, Alex, my daughter, I was talking about her earlier, and she was saying how, you know, this is her last week of school. Today's her last day of school, and she graduates with her master's. And she was talking to her other colleagues at college, and, you know, some of them have opportunities to go to in jobs, and some of them don't. And some of them don't know what they're going to do with that master's that they just worked really hard to get. And part of the scary thought of that is they've had mentors and professors around them for the last couple of years. And all of a sudden now it's time for them to go out into the world and become a leader and become a person that makes the decisions that they have to make and do the things that they have to do. And the transition is not always easy. So it's very important to not only surround yourself with people that you trust and you admire and that are people that are mentors, to be able to give you that confidence to know that it's your time. You're a leader, and people, you know, want to follow people who know where they're going. They want to follow people that shows them the way. So when you make that transition, you know, just know that there's a whole bunch of other people that are looking to get to where you're going. And so what you broadcast to them is incredibly important. Of course, Yoda has it all right. Try not, do, or do not. There is no try. So you either do it or you don't do it, right? So this is all about, you know, in business, you just got to do. You can't worry about the outcome every single day. You just have to do it and keep doing it and do the best that you can, and know that by doing it, whatever happens is going to happen. So in the last day of the month, one of the things that I'm always working on is being a good connector. I think when you can connect with people and they connect back, things happen. So I'm going to give you an example of what happened recently. So I think I told you guys last week that I was sitting down with somebody that I play tennis with, and she and I, you know, we had a good connection. She's a really good tennis player, and she's got a really funny wit about her. I really liked her, and I asked her out for coffee. And I asked her about her background. I asked her a lot of questions. I didn't really talk about myself at all. I wasn't, you know, that wasn't what it was about. I really wanted to find out about her. And, you know, it's so interesting because eventually the conversation did come around to me, and she said, you know, what do you do? And I kind of told her my background and whatever. And then I told her a little bit about my side, you know, I called it my side hustle. I said, you know, I really love it because I help people and whatever. And she went on to tell me how in the 90s, she had been a part of a company called Tupperware, and that she was a very big producer there. And this was 20 years ago, but that she never ever wanted to get another side hustle or whatever. But But I said, oh, that's too bad. You know, it sounds like you were so good at it, you know, and she just, for whatever reason, she didn't want to do it. You know, I'm not sure why, but I left it alone. And I just told her how much I appreciated our coffee together. And it turned out to be a 2-hour conversation. Well, anyway, I told her about my real estate. I told her I was starting new. And I said, you know, one of the things about starting anything new that's really hard is that, you know, your friends don't always support you the way you think that they should. Sometimes it's discouraging and disappointing. And you know, you really want to have your friends sort of validate that you made a right decision by them referring you business and things like that. And it doesn't always feel good when they don't. And we kind of talked about that and left it alone. Anyway, I hadn't seen her in a week. I got a phone call from her last night, and she said, hey, Annie, you know, what are you up to? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, nothing. I'm just, you know, hanging out and excited for, you know, the weekend, whatever. And she said, well, I just wanted to let you know that I had a conversation with a friend of mine who is actually a realtor, but you told me about how Robert's been in the mortgage business for 30 years. And, you know, he was telling me how he was having difficulty with his lender. And I thought maybe I'd like to connect them and see if they might have a good connection where they might be able to work together. And I know this realtor does a nice business. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is so, she says, I can't guarantee anything. I said, you know, Gail, just the fact that you thought of us and you thought of Robert, just the fact that you thought of us just makes me so happy, you know, that you actually thought of us. And this is a very, very important thing, guys, because our breakfast was a couple of weeks ago. And, you know, I didn't ask her for business. I didn't ask her to do anything. We were just talking. We were just getting to know each other. We were just connecting. So the power of connection is big. Okay. And so you want to look around you in these last 4 days. You're looking at your P&L. You're wondering how you can close out your month as big and as strong as you can. Go back to the people that you've been connecting with. And one of the main factors in that is how you can help them. Go to people that you're connecting with to see how you can help them. One of the things that Gail and I talked about at that breakfast was she had mentioned that she was looking for something. And that's, of course, why I wanted to sit down with her. And I said, I may have some opportunity for you. And when I told her about the opportunity, she wasn't quite sure it was exactly right for her. But I said, you know, look, anything I can do to help you find what you're looking for, I'm happy to do that. You know, and we should continue the conversation. Interestingly enough, about a week later, she did text me and say, you know, I'd love to take a look at your website. And I sent it to her. You know, I sent it to her so she could take a look at it. Again, she's not really interested in a side hustle, but she wanted to know exactly what I was doing. And I thought that was really good. So here's a couple of 10 ideas on how you can close out your month strong by being a connector. You know, make sure you've been introduced to every new person on your team. Okay. Make sure that in the last 30 or 60 days, if you haven't, you know, make that call and maybe take some time this weekend to set aside an hour that you're just going to make phone calls, because I think the connection of your voice is way powerful than you know. Begin to build relationships with your team members. Start to build your calendar of events with those new people. So if you calendar out your life in terms of what activities you do in your daily life, this is a good time to maybe put in, you know, Friday morning coffee with new member, or Friday coffee morning with, you know, and slot those people in on how, when and where you meet them. Just slot them in and know that that's what your calendar dictates. You know, schedule calls with a great referral source that you have. So, you know, Gail is something that, Gail is somebody now that I feel like, God, she's a great connector. I want to help her. She wants to help me. I want to stay in touch with her. So I'm going to make sure that I put her on my call list once a week. You know, she's one of those people that is like me. She likes to connect people. Schedule calls with good referral sources. You know, identify the people in your life that are good referral sources. Schedule the calls with new acquaintances. These are people that, you know, are new in your life. You're not sure how that's going to go, but you want to get to know them a little bit more. Schedule them into your life, okay? Schedule your calendar, including your trainings, your sit-downs, your parties, the different things that you're doing. Schedule it into your life for the next month. You'll be so surprised at how you'll hit your goals, you'll hit your P&L, you'll hit those things if you schedule it into your life, make it happen, right? Find out in the first few days of the month who on your team wants to rank advance. Go line by line. Here's an opportunity this weekend to literally go line by line. We talked about it yesterday, where you can look at the people in your company and you can say, look, what do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? How can I help you? When you're looking at your company and you're looking at your sales force, the idea is, look at the people that have some sort of a goal for themselves, or help them with that goal, right? Be excited, have fun, do the activities, duplicate that within your group, within the people that you're working with. So here's the idea about communication. Communication is a powerful thing, okay? So your words amount to 7% of that communication, but the tone in your voice jumps that unbelievably. See the difference. 38% of your communication is in the tone of your voice, how you communicate it, how you broadcast it, and even more powerful than that is being face-to-face. Broadcasting to somebody with the tone, your words, and your body language is really where it's at, okay? So if you know that that's how the best way to communicate with people is, that's how you have to schedule it into your life. Okay, when you communicate, you want to cultivate your relationship and not make it about you, make it about them. Okay, what do you do? How did you get your start in business? What do you enjoy most about what you do? Why did you choose that line of work? Ask people where they're at in their life. This is a key component in business, especially if you're thinking this might be an opportunity that they might like, a side hustle or another career. So it's very, very important to ask people questions, connecting, doing your own market research. Surveying your customers is a critical part of business, okay? And we talk about this in business all the time, right? You're looking at your market, you're looking at what your consumers are looking at. Ask your customers questions. Okay, so if you have an hour this weekend to build your business, to make your goals, to get where you want to go, questions are going to be the answer for you. Okay, questions are going to be the answer for you. So you're building raving fans, you're becoming this connector, and you're networking your customers to find out where they're at. And you want your customers happy. This is the key component to foundation of business. I don't care what business it is. If you have happy customers that are connected to you and they trust you, believe me when I tell you, it's going to be magical for you. So learn to be a master asker. If you represent a product that you absolutely love more than another, you can ask about that, or you can make it more general, okay? So, do you like to take supplements? I ask people that all the time because I was not a supplement taker, and I didn't really, there were too many supplements and I didn't understand. So now I ask people, do you take supplements? And if you do, why do you do it? And how has it helped you? What supplements do you take? What have they done for you? Are you consistent with taking these kinds of surveys, you guys? When you ask these questions, it really identifies your customer to you. And you can make a whole list right about one customer. Well, what do you like best about it, right? If you're not taking supplements, are you open to taking something? I think I may have found something that works really well. Could I send you a sample? Is that something you'd be interested in? Mark it down on your list. These are ways for you to continually connect with your customer, right? Does your product address brain and cellular health? Does your product address the things that are in your body that you're looking for, right? What kind of skincare do you use? What do you like best about the products you use? Has anyone in your family ever experienced memory loss, right? I ask that question because I have a brain supplement that I love, okay? How long have you worked in your career? Do you have a long commute? Is that something that you enjoy? Is it hard for you? These are types of ideas that you can use to ask people questions and really get to know what people are thinking about, because we don't know. We don't know what people are thinking about. We just know, like, hi, how are you? Oh, it's good to see you. But if you really go deeper into your connections and you go deeper into your questions, you're going to find out a whole bunch of information that you were not necessarily had any idea, and it's going to open up a whole new world of what you're looking for in a customer that may end up wanting to do something with you business wise. So that's our Zoom for today. The message today is finish your month strong. Of course, because in business, that's what you want. You want to finish strong. It's the most important thing in business. Any business, doesn't matter. And those are some tools that I think will be helpful. Does anybody have any comments or other suggestions for us for the end of the month? Trisha?
Hey, Annie, can you go back real quick to the question slide? I forgot to take a picture of it, and I think that's so awesome. Would you mind doing that? Oh, wait, you're muted. Hey, Annie, yeah, I can't hear you because you're still muted. That's weird. How did you get muted?
I'm just talking
There we go.
away because I'm just a talker and I'm just going to talk to myself the whole time. Does anybody else, while I'm looking for that slide, is it this that you wanted to see?
Yeah, that's perfect. I was taking pictures of the other ones, and I was reading them and going through them with you. These are awesome. And one of the things I wanted to share also, I've always been a supplement taker, but for some reason, maybe because I just never had a need for it, I wasn't a probiotic taker. And so when we launched the Prolistic, I did a lot of question asking because I wanted to educate myself. And the questions really helped both of us, the person that I was asking and then myself too. And what I found is when I told them, kind of what Miriam launched and what I found, that there was nothing really like it on the market, it allowed me to have that conversation with people. But I kind of put it towards them like, you're more of an expert in this than I am. And by asking them questions about why they take it and what they found, it kind of really put them at ease to listen to me.
Well, and I think that's great, because for somebody like me, I really don't have a whole lot of experience in that. And I think, asking questions is probably it never fails. It's 100%. It's literally 100% to take you to the next question or the next answer for you. So I appreciate that feedback so much. Anybody else have anything to share?
I have a request, Annie. This is Barbara. I missed the screenshot of the slide after Bruce Lee and before John Maxwell.
You're so cute. Okay, I'm going to go back there and see if I can find it. Bruce Lee, which one?
Right before John Maxwell and right after Bruce Lee, that one. I just love that.
Okay.
And I was reading it, and then all of a sudden it was gone.
Oh my gosh, no. There it is.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to share? Or add? It's Friday.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Annie, I just wanted to say thank you for today because you were on fire, lady. I mean, it was awesome. It was just a really good way to end our week and kick off the weekend.
Well, that's what we need to do. We need to close out the weekend strong, and we need to take everything we can to get our P&L exactly where we want it to be, because we'll be much happier at the beginning of the month if we do that. And that's what I know will happen, happiness. So, well, thank you guys so much. I hope you have a beautiful, awesome day and weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Annie.
Thank you so much, Annie. Awesome as always.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Annie.
Oh, thanks to everyone who welcomed Janice, too. Thank you for posting.